particular attention to this. Despite all the raging insecurity in the land, despite the dastardly exploits of ISIS in West Africa, despite the murderous, tendencies of Boko Haram and every other Fulani terrorist group, because some of you should not forget that every terror group in Nigeria is owned and financed by the Fulani. That is something you must understand. Rather unfortunately, and rather very pathetically, some of you are yet to come to terms with this very reality. To top up the misery for the masses, they control the army, they control the police, they control the customs, they control every arms-bearing agency in the land. Every security agency is in their pocket. And on top of that, you also have the presidency of the zoo that they are now, have complete and total control over. In other words, you people are living in the era of the Fulani rule. You are living in the era of the caliphate without knowing it. Because you don't have elections in the zoo, you don't have any democracy in the zoo called Nigeria. What you have is the rule, a very primitive rule of the Janjaweed. And to make things worse, there is nobody who is actually in charge. And also, I'm going to prove that to you later on, that we are the ones, we are their tormentors, we are the ones that they are most afraid of. No other person. Anything we say on this platform, the zoo, they listen very attentively, they pay very close attention to it, and they do the best they can, either to mitigate it or to try to rubbish what we are doing. And each time they fail, each time they try to make us look bad, they end up looking very, very ridiculous. I'm going to prove it to you this evening. This news broke this evening, was carried by many newspapers around the zoo. If you Google it, you'll be able to see it there. Don't listen to secessionists. Lai Mohammed tells Nigerians. He said, do not listen to people who are agitating for freedom. Now, let us proceed. He said this very day, today being Sunday, that the federal government was working hard to improve national security and prevent all secession tendencies, which means what we told you earlier today about the abductions that they're doing, which happened this evening in Uguta, as a matter of fact. The abductions that they're doing, their concern is not the Fulani Janjaweed they imported from the Sahel. No, that is not their concern. Their concern is also not the Fulani bandits who are raping, pillaging, and killing people all over the place. That too is not a concern to them. What concerns them is secession. If you are somebody raised on this warped sense of nationalism, if you're one of these people unfortunate enough not to reason properly or reason anything through before you embark on either critique or embracing of that very subject or discourse, if you're one of those who are not well educated, you will think that fighting for nationalism in Nigeria, or should I say, preserving Nigeria is a very good thing. But actually, it means you are badly educated, you are ill-informed, and you are highly unreasonable. Why am I saying this? Because Lai Mohammed is telling you that their problem are groups that are involved in trying to divide Nigeria. But I want to remind each and every one of you that this same lame, weak argument was espoused by supporters of the British Empire during our colonial days, the time that the zoo was under colonialism. And having said this thing today, as I'm speaking to you right now, there is a man called Bishop Etete. He's been abducted from Akwa Ibom this very day. Chinedu Egwuonu was also abducted in Akwa Ibom as well. That one was abducted on the 6th of April. Nsikak Abasi also abducted by the DSS. The reason why I'm making this announcement this evening is that anytime people get upset, these people, they have relatives. Anytime we keep crying and lamenting, and God decides to send his angels, the unknown government, to go and avenge this level of humiliation, some of you begin to complain and to mutter to yourselves. When Nigerian government themselves are committing high crimes and misdemeanors, all of you keep quiet. How can you go to people's home and you abduct them and take them to Iguacha? Their telephone, their mobile phones were tracked. Where we lost contact was on entry into Iguacha. They switched off all their phones. That's what they have done. They are now in Igot, maybe in DSS or whatever headquarters that the Fulanis have planned for us. And in all these places, you have the Fulanis who are in power. These people are fighting for freedom. The same way that Nnamdi Azikiwe fought for freedom, should I say to an extent, independence, for the same people today who are hell-bent on killing everybody, fighting for the same thing that they fought for under British rule. Britain argued, or should I say those that believed in the empire argued that if you allow all these countries, if you allow India to become independent, the jewel and the crown they used to call India, if you allow South Africa to go to the Boers, if you allow all these countries in Africa to become independent, that will weaken the British Empire. We are one. We speak English. English language binds us together. The same stupid, spurious arguments being made up by the likes of Lai Mohammed till this very day. Why did the likes of Azikiwe fight for independence? Why did the likes of Awolowo fight for independence? How come, I'm asking, how come the likes of, to an extent, very limited extent, Enahoro fight for independence? Why? Okotiebo, why did they fight for independence? Why didn't they all argue that we should remain in one big British empire, one big family being ruled by the Queen? Even when they got independence in 1960, how come in 1963 they argued that the zoo should become a republic? That the Queen should no longer be the head of government of Nigeria? Why did you do that? Why is it that now that people are agitating for exactly the same things that you fought for and agitated for under colonialism, you have issues with it? Let us look at what Lai Mohammed has to say. They are working very hard to improve national security by abducting people today in Uguta. They abducted some people today in Uguta as well, not just in Akwa Ibom. In Uguta today, they went and they abducted some people there. The man ran away, they took the wife. A woman. This is what Fulani people are doing. Any day now, people become angry and they rage and they react. All of you will come on social media and on your useless Zoo newspapers and be yapping rubbish. Today that the DSS are busy abducting people, you will not say anything. And I want to ask you this question. How many Fulani bandits has the DSS abducted before in the past? Sheikh Gumi knows where they are. How many of them have been abducted? The answer is zero. Absolute zilch. Nothing. He gave this, he was speaking on a radio program, I think it was in Lagos, it's called EB, Ambassador. He urged Nigerians not to listen to IPOB, not to listen to Mazi Nnamdi. That's what he's doing. He said, speaking specifically on the issues around security, Mohammed said that federal government efforts in that respect necessitated the town hall meeting on security held on April 8 in Kaduna. The people causing the problem are the same people that they went to have a town hall meeting. In the same state, being governed or being ruled by a man, that midget El Rufai, that openly told all of you that he was traveling to Chad, to Niger, to Mali to go and pay Fulani terrorists and bandits to stop killing all of you. He was the man, when asked what was happening in southern Kaduna, he said that the Fulanis were exacting revenge. A governor, that was where they held this town hall meeting. I want to let the whole world understand that Nigeria itself is steeped in hypocrisy. That is something, every time I come on air, I keep lamenting about the state or the mental well-being of black people, how we absorb information and how we analyze it. I keep saying this all the time. I don't know if some of you actually sit down to give a deeper reflection on this very issue I harp on about all the time. They held a town hall meeting, not in the south that hasn't been ravaged that much by terrorism, but in Kaduna. The same Kaduna that was the epicenter, the beginning of present-day Fulani banditry started in Kaduna, in southern Kaduna. That's why they held this very meeting. That is to tell you that they have taken over your lives. You people are worthless. And I'm saying this with every sense of clarity and sincerity, that People in the southern part of Nigeria, you people are slaves, but the funniest thing is that you don't know that you are slaves. You see, in order to occupy you, in order to make you feel relevant, they keep saying, oh, the presidency will go to the south in 2023, which means forget about every other thing that is happening to you right now. Focus. It's just like promising somebody you're going to heaven. If you go to church and pay tithe, you go to heaven. As if they've had anybody from heaven come back to tell them that, hey, I went to heaven, this is what it looks like. They keep promising you 2023. As you're looking at 2023, your land, your forests, your farmlands are being taken over. They are concentrating power, despite the fact that the Fulanis are in control of every facet of life in the zoo, they're even piling on more power upon the one that they have already. And all you can do is to talk about one Nigeria. The meeting brought stakeholders together to chart a way forward. Let me ask you, did any of you, were you aware of any meeting being held in Kaduna that was held in Kaduna on the 8th of April? Stakeholders is basically Fulani people, maybe from Chad, from Niger, from Timbuktu, with the Sultan in charge. They say that they setting benchmarks for enhanced security and national unity in Nigeria. Unity by force. Unity, the same way that Britain tried to hold their empire by force, crush, imprison, kill, jail. It didn't work. It has never worked anywhere in history. And Nigeria is not going to be an exception. It will never, ever work. They said that their deliberations, or should I say, their conclusions, were presented to the Federal Executive Council and state governors on Wednesday and Thursday of this week gone, respectively. Lai Mohammed pointed out that what united Nigeria was more important than those issues threatening its continuity. And I want to ask anybody with any sense of, I don't know how to put this so that people can actually understand me. I want people to ask themselves this question. What are those things that unites Nigeria? I know some idiot will tell me that an Igbo man trading in Sokoto, in Uguzo, in Kotangora is what unites you. The same way you have Igbo people running successful businesses right across the whole of Europe and in the Americas. The most successful immigrant race into the United States of America are Biafran people. I think it's an official document, isn't it? The most successful immigrant race into the USA are essentially Biafran people. Are they not doing very well in the USA? They are excelling in the USA. Is anybody in their right senses ever suggesting that we should be one country with the USA because our people are doing very well? I want to be very generous to the likes of Lai Mohammed and all those misguided nationalists that you have in the zoo called Nigeria. It's a very simple question. If you claim that somebody doing business successfully in Maiduguri or in Bauchi is a panacea, is the reason why we should be together as one country. There are people who are doing very well in the UK as we speak, running successful businesses. It doesn't matter if they are Biafrans, there are Yoruba people doing exceptionally well. These are multimillionaires in pound sterling. Are you now implying that Britain should come back to recolonize us because there are people who are doing very well in Britain? Simple common sense. I'm sure that you know that the answer is no. So I want Lai Mohammed and all those peddling this fictitious line that what holds us together is more than what divides us. What is holding us together now is Fulani laziness and Fulani greed. Their lecherous behavior, blood-sucking demonic behavior. They contribute nothing to the national coffers. I keep asking myself all the time, if you sit down and you ask yourself, what is it that the Fulani Janjaweed, especially their so-called elite, are contributing towards the national development of the place called Zoological Republic of Nigeria? The answer is absolutely nothing. All they do is that they steal. The ordinary Alamajiri Janjaweed may move cattle from place to place. At least they provide meat to an extent to those that want to eat their useless poisoned meat. What does a ordinary Fulani Janjaweed so-called elite, all of them that are stealing money and sharing it in Abuja, in Kaduna, in Sokoto and all that,